All right, hey people. So in this video, I'm actually going to show you how we've used Orchestra to build an end-to-end data pipeline from scratch with just a prompt. And you can see exactly what I've said here. Now, I'm being pretty prescriptive because I want to make sure that everything is controlled in code and everything happens in its own sort of sandbox. What we're going to do is we're actually going to close the loop here, which means that instead of just writing the pipeline, we're actually going to run the pipeline in a sort of staging environment before anything actually gets pushed to production. So we're closing the loop, we're making sure the agent can observe its actions, and we can see what we're doing. So essentially what I've said is create a new branch in our blueprints repo, create a YAML file, which is the orchestration, create a Python file, which is going to mock taking some data from Reddit, and then write a DBT model, or at least a couple of DBT models inside the DBT project. And we're also going to say, make sure everything's Git backed. We don't have to, but also make sure all of the inputs, like the branch name, are parameters so that you can, easily control them by API. So you can see the agent is thinking here, like we're working out exactly how to build this pipeline. And then eventually we get to the point of something that we have shipped. And if I go ahead and check out the first, you can see that it actually ran into an issue. So while we succeeded, like with our Python task, if you take a look at the logs, you'll see that we're writing to some, database called BigQuery sample. And quite clearly from here, we're seeing that there's an error. The error is saying that we're going after this Snowflake working database. So we've got like a database mismatch. We've basically dropped in some data with Python, and then we're doing the transformations, but the transformations are expecting the data to be there, and the data's not there. So what I basically said, it was, kind of fix it, and it's gone ahead and done that. So if we take a look at the actual feature in GitHub, you can see the commits that were made. So we can see that we've got this Reddit leads pipeline.py file. But if we take a look at the actual code, you can see we've also got some like SQL here as well. And this is an aggregated model. So we're pulling data. We're pulling some data in already. And if we go and take a look at the actual runs of this pipeline, we can see the second run that it did, or rather the third run. And we'll see that in this case, everything kind of worked. So if we look at the outputs, we'll see that the agent successfully changed the code to override the database to be the correct database. And that's exactly what the agent has said that it's done here. So this run ID C083, that's what we see in the URL here. And as a result, we were able to trigger our DBT. And it's even given us some tests, which is great. If we take a look at the actual parameters of the task, you'll see that the branch that's being used is actually this feat demo AI pipeline branch. So really, really, really powerful. Closing the loop on AI assisted development wouldn't be possible if you didn't have a serverless orchestrator and a place to run agents in its own sandbox. And go ahead, give this a go. Give it something to do which is more complicated than taking mock data from the Reddit API, and see if you can break it.